You're listening to the Beans and Dice podcast, a podcast about how we game.
Look at that, no viewers. 0.
It's early. It's early. They're coming. They're coming.
Early.
Come on. Come on.
Takes a minute or two.
People got to get online with it.
Hey, folks, welcome to the Beans and Dice podcast. Live Thursday night call-in show. I am coming to you live from Daytona Beach, Florida.
Daytona International Speedway.
Yes. Robert, you were just here last week.
I was there last weekend.
I'm your host, Carlos, with my guests, Rob, Wayne, and Mike.
Oh, no self-introductions this week. He goes back and forth every other week. It's one way, then the other way. One way, then the other way. Anyway.
I am not in my normal setup here. I am at Daytona International Speedway. I did this last year for the camp of the 24-hour race. Robert, you were just here last weekend, weren't you?
I was there. I camped out there Friday night, Saturday night, and then we stayed almost all day Sunday with the Scouts. So I was there with the Cub Scouts. But yeah, fun times.
Was it as cold as it is now, or?
Probably close to it. On Saturday night, it was windy all day Saturday, and then Saturday night into Sunday morning, we got a couple hours of rain, and then the temperature dropped about 20 degrees. It was pretty cold.
Yeah, I got a fire behind me. I got a heater next to me.
Can see that.
Trying to bundle up.
Well, if you freeze up, literally and figuratively, we'll take over.
Oh yeah, you guys. For the most part, I'm gonna be relying on y'all to talk about games played, things that have been done. Phone line is open, 813-618-7099. Doing my best to engineer all this from a mobile setup, so we'll see how this goes.
You're killing it, man.
We'll see how well this works. Got Rich Yahtzee in the chat, Daytona. Ron Frazier in the chat saying, hey.
Ron. Hopefully we get lots of call-ins tonight. We got a few things to talk about. So Rich has a reason to call in. We are into our what's the name of the cup? I forget off the top of my head.
The Rallyman GT.
Rallyman GT. Frozen. Yeah, the frozen something cup. So BGA, we're playing a little Rallyman GT. First round is done, so the first race is all done. I think we're doing.
We got a call here. Let's see if we got a call already. Did it work?
Get it. Let's get
Hello,
it.
caller.
State your name. Where you
Ron
from?
from Atlanta.
There he is. Ron
is
from
it
Atlanta.
working?
It is.
I can't believe this is working.
I decided to call in to give this a try to be the guinea pig here.
Well, thank you.
That's great that Carlos is out there camping in the Florida cold.
Freezing his butt off. Yeah.
That's not cold, man. Come on.
Not real cold. Yeah.
I just got back from snowboarding.
Oh, nice. That's real cold.
No.
Carlos, what's the temperature right now?
I think tonight is going to be in the low to mid 40s.
And that's warm because it's even colder here in Tampa, right? Yeah.
Tomorrow the highs will be in the 50s.
Ooh. No thanks.
Oh, okay. I guess, you know what? I take that back. I guess that is kind of.
Well, I mean,
it's
in reality, I'm going to pick up the camera. I might make y'all a little nauseous here because I know Rob doesn't like it. I got my little fire here. I got my heater next to me. I'm running everything off of this one USB battery pack. I have no electricity, so everything's running off of battery
15
power.
minutes, he's just going to cut. We might be done early tonight, folks.
So y'all get an idea of the camp life here. I do have a generator that I could use, but it's so loud, it's just not worth doing.
Oh, yeah.
I like that you have pitch car set up.
Oh, did you notice that?
Little pitch car, yeah. I saw that.
This is the track I got from Michael Lorenzo. I bought this from you, Michael.
Yeah.
Little track.
I got buddies coming over tomorrow. The kids are going to come. They're excited to play some pitch car at Daytona.
Rocking.
If you can count on one thing for Carlos, is that he's going to get his thematic game in at a thematic location.
He's going to try, yeah.
But if you know me, and Robert knows me, it starts off with about 20 games that I have to pare down for the last minute for the trip to decide what am I bringing.
Then we bring 6, and then we might play 1. So, yeah, it's
usually how it works out.
Yeah.
Damn right.
Happens. Yeah, it's this way it goes. So what you been up to, Ron? You been playing anything?
Right. So, want to talk about a couple of things. One is a specific board game, and another is a board game topic. So I played the Street Fighter miniatures game again.
Oh.
And it's a decent game. Like, somebody asked me my opinion of the game, and it's a good game. I wouldn't call it call it a masterpiece by any stretch of the imagination, but it's it's solid. But what really works on me, and it got me thinking about my topic a little bit, is the miniatures.
I was say the minis has got to be it.
Yeah, if you see on my Instagram, I have pictures of the minis. I did a little reel. They are gorgeous.
Nice.
And I played Street Fighter growing up. And so, particularly Street Fighter 2 was the biggest game that I played in that series. I played a little bit of 3 and 4. But 2 is the one I have the most fond memories of. And I believe the starter pack is like 6 fighters from Street Fighter 2. And they're just the minis are just well done. They're pre-painted plastic.
Yep.
But they're really well done. And people kept stopping by and to look at the game and check out the minis and everything like that. So it's definitely a game.
I was going to say, just real quick, before everybody knows, just on the video side of things here, I know we have some people who listen to the audio side. I don't have the ability to drive tonight. I'm usually trying to pull up the stuff on BGG and show pictures and things. We won't have any of that tonight. Just with Carlos hosting everything remote, we don't have that capability. We're going to work on getting that fixed for future if we have to do this remote thing. But just go ahead, Ron. I didn't mean to cut you off. I just wanted to let you know.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to ask because I don't have the images to go off of. What size are the models, right? So when I talk size, like old school Warhammer would have been like 28 millimeter. I think today's Warhammer 40,000 is like 32 millimeter. In comparison to like a Warhammer or a D&D mini, how big are the minis in the Street Fighter game?
Oh, they're definitely bigger than that. They're probably my best comparison for single minis is like Marvel Price Protocol.
Oh, okay. Yeah, those are, I think, heroic scale, like 40 millimeter.
Yeah.
They're big ones.
Yeah. Yeah, they're about that size.
I think because it comes in a darker plastic, so they're bigger.
Yeah, so they look great on the table. The game, you have sandy terrain, trees and rocks and furniture and whatnot. And so that adds an element of toy factor too, and it's just a really great game to look at. It's a dice and card based fighting game. So it's like there's plenty of those out there. And
yeah. I think that was one of the big knocks is that it looked really pretty, but as far as the mechanics and what it did game-wise, it was kind of run-of-the-mill. I don't think I heard a lot of bad stuff about it, but I didn't hear anything great after it came out. Everybody was excited about it I think it was, if I remember, it was a Kickstarter, and everybody was excited about the Kickstarter because it looked so pretty, and it got a lot of support there. But after it came out, a lot of people said, it was okay as far as a game.
Yeah, that's my experience.
Okay.
So and I don't know where it's sold or how expensive it is. My buddy got some. He late pledged for some stuff, so that's how he got into it. But yeah, it's an okay game. It's a game I'll definitely play just because of the nostalgia factor.
Now, gameplay wise, I'm gonna ride this one for a little bit. Gameplay wise, you talked about dice and cards. For the folks at home and for me, what other type CMON-ish game or other game would it be close to feeling wise? Is it Imperial Assault, skirmish style? Is it CMON co-op, many versus some? What feel do you get?
I would say like, Imperial Assault except you can play combos because, of course, it's Street Fighter.
Yes,
of course.
And so you have these symbols on the cards, on the sides of the cards, where you have to match up the colors of the symbols to sustain combos. So that's neat. But it's the only game like that I've played. But even playing that, I was like, there's got to be something else out there that has mechanic in it. This does not feel it just did not feel like a unique mechanic that just mechanisms that blew my socks off. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like
So
you're
it's
rolling
the
dice,
nostalgia factor.
Yeah. You're rolling the dice. The dice have hits. It has shields. It has a special symbol to build up energy. I mean, like, if I've never played hobby board games, and I was into Street Fighter, then I might think this game was amazing.
Yeah.
Do you dress up as E Honda or Chung Li when you're doing this?
Man. Blanca's the best.
Yeah, the look of it reminds me a little bit about, or not really the look, but just kind of the layout, and there being a little bit of terrain on the board and being all squares, and that being the way to move. It reminds me, Carlos, of that game that you had gotten into for a very brief period of time with a lot of the cardboard. It was the Chibi's looking game, and it was on square.
Oh yeah,
what was that?
Oh my gosh.
I don't remember. You could.
It was a gorgeous game. The models came pre-painted, full chibi.
Yep. You could buy all the
It
expansions.
was all grid-based movement.
Yep. And there was like just a couple little trees you'd put out on the thing, and
oh my gosh, I remember that game.
Okay, yeah, I forget what it was, but it'll hit us here in a minute. But yeah, and just real quick, Wayne did find a way to bring up the video. Our IT guy here on the spot, he is able to share his screen, so he's gonna drive the video portion of it tonight.
Nice.
So, yeah. But you said you had something else for us?
Yeah. So here's a question, gentlemen: are board games art?
Yes.
Okay.
There you go.
Why?
That was done. Next.
Board game art.
Thanks for your call.
On to the next question.
Good night, folks.
I mean, in reality, Mike, I think you're probably right there. I mean, anything really could be considered art, but certainly we know that there's a lot of artists that are commissioned. I mean, look at Wingspan, look at the artwork that goes into the games, and I think especially with the production values, it's a form of art. Whether it's art is not just what you put on a wall; it's dance, it's music, it's it's whatever.
Yeah,
I mean, Kyle would agree with that from Chicago. I mean, he does the photography and does all that, but
right.
Yeah. Art, I looked up a definition today, is the expression or application of human creative skill and imagination.
Here you go.
Board game design is art. Because if that's not an application of human creative skill and imagination,
sure,
I don't know what is.
Yeah, agreed.
Right?
Yeah.
I think a lot of folks look at board games as strictly like a product. And I was thinking about movies, right? You have the most popular franchise on the face of the earth in the history of time is the Marvel Cinematic Universe, right?
Sure.
And a lot of us enjoy those movies and what have you, but they're very produced products. They're producers,
they're formulaic,
putting their input in. Yeah, right. Now, of course, there's artistic expressing. It's the movie. You have,
but you've seen a lot of the debates now from Hollywood, like, and I can't remember the name of the person in Hollywood that talked about the MCU stuff, like that being, this is today's modern movies is garbage. Everything is MCU. Everything is Marvel.
Oh, it's
who was
the guy
that?
The guy did Goodfellas and
Scorsese. Was it?
Scorsese is the one that said it.
Yeah.
Right. So like we can call it art, but then the people that do the art don't even want to call that art. They want to be like, that's a banana taped to a wall.
In reality, you could say that.
Right. Yeah, and you know what? And I would also say that I'm willing to bet people in the board game community feel that way about
Munchkin.
Like,
sorry.
Maybe the true board games that are art are like some of the older, more abstract games, because the things that are well balanced. And my point is, that like it is art, and art is subjective, right? Like art is subjective. It is an application of human creative skill, and with art, we all appreciate art differently. Like some of us prefer MCU movies, some of us prefer indie movies, and those directors are talking about all those guys that criticize the MCU movies, which I still believe are art themselves. They're just more of a product than that they care for.
Well, I also think that some are going to be better than others, regardless of what medium you're looking at, and all of them evoke some kind of emotion, whether you hate it or like it or love it or whatever it may draw out of you. So I mean, and that's how I look at board games. Some board games I just think they're beautiful, just the table presence alone, and then when you play it, it's like a whole nother level on top of that. But yeah, I mean, I'm only adding to your confirmation that I believe that it's art as well.
Well, I think
I played the Peppa Pig matching game with my 6-year-old last night, and that definitely did not feel like art to me. But
did it to her?
But
yeah, it could be to her. It's all in the eye of the beholder, right?
But she enjoyed. Yeah, right. But she enjoyed it. That's definitely a product. That's definitely a product, right? Like it was something. It was a widget. They wanted somebody to spend money on this thing so that this company could make some dollars. But still, my 6-year-old really appreciated it. And of course, she enjoyed the quality time she had with me, and it has at least something to do with that game. So this is just something I had been thinking about for the past couple of days, and I just wanted to throw that in.
Thank you for that topic, because it reminds me of how the appreciation for it as art can vary. A Michael Lorenzo type cares so much for protecting that art, that game, and Carlos comes in and just throws his bag on everything.
My sarcastic comment was something is elevated to the world of art when there's critics, and there's certainly enough critics in the board game community.
Oh yeah, that's true.
It tells you that board games art. Like how people nitpick things. Like I think that's honestly true. Is like like Ron, you hit the nail on the head a little bit more positively than I might have. Is that people see things differently, and once you have people critiquing things and viewing things in different lenses and different ways, then it's art. Then it's art. And right. With that comes negativity, but also comes tremendous positivity. Like you see the Kyle and the photograph stuff. So the board game mosaic calendar that I got that is beautiful. Oh, yeah. She's taking board game pieces and making art. Elevating pieces. Elevating it. So it's kind of cool.
Yeah. And it's interesting that you bring all that up. I don't know if any of y'all watched, not to steal topics from other content providers, but Dice Tower today on the board game Smorgasbord.
Well, hey, before we jump into that, Ron, we want to thank you for your call.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Anytime.
I appreciate you, Poppy.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Ron.
All right.
Well, I kind of was parallel with what Ron was talking about, so I don't know if he had any input.
No,
on
keep going.
I don't know if he. Okay, so he was they dove pretty deep today into for about 10 minutes there in what is the Tom Thinks segment, or they've retitled it or whatever. They were talking specifically about the hobby board gaming industry versus what we would call kind of the mass market board gaming industry. And Tom, they were talking a little bit about how when we list our top 10 games, or if Tom were to say, what were the top 10 best-selling games last year, as hobby board gamers, we would list off, Endless Winter or Wingspan or, these real niche games. But when you actually look at the top 10 best-selling games, they were the game with the stuff that you put in your mouth and you try to say things. And they were these mass market games that sell billions of copies versus
Right.
what we would think of as that. And so they got a little bit into, Z was talking a little bit about on the cruise, on the Dice Tower cruise this last weekend. He saw people sitting at a table while they were using most of the cafeteria or the food area. It was all the Dice Tower people were crammed in there, and they were playing all these hobby board games. But there was a family sitting at a separate table that was just with a deck of cards playing a card game, spades or hearts or whatever it was, and they were having as good a time as anybody else in the whole convention. They were roaring, they were laughing, they were throwing cards down. And he's like, well, so who are we to judge that a good time is a deep thinky game that has these extra complicated mechanics? And we call ourselves hobby board gamers, and what we do is elevated above what these other people do. If a family is having fun playing a mass market game, Monopoly or Sorry or Clue or whatever, is that really different, or should we look down on that? Is that any less of an experience of what we get as hobby board gamers? And so it kind of borders on kind of the idea of art versus the mass market thing. A lot of us would call that kind of these trash games that they come out and just to kind of put a little period on it without rambling on too much. They talked a little bit about I think Z mentioned it again about how it was either Z or Mike Delicio said that, well, one of the things for him is when we look at the design of games in the hobby board game industry, we put the designer's name right on the front of the box. And we talk about these revered designers, and we talk about how, they have this history of all these big top titles and stuff they've done. When you look at like Mattel and all these others, they don't put the names of the designers on the box because it's usually a group think thing where they play tested it. They've sent it to all these different markets. They've had 50 million people working on it. And it's not just one person's thing. They've tried to cut the costs. They try to simplify mechanics. They try to really, make this a mass market kind of thing. And so again, that kind of reminded me of that conversation with what's art, what's not art, the eye of the beholder. If somebody's having a good time with just a deck of cards or some dominoes or something like that, is that not, just
right.
as
we've identified this before too, Robert. Pieces Board Game Cafe in Canada, right? This is Canada. Pieces out of Canada from last week.
That's right.
So thank you for coming back. Said that the most played games, Everdale and the Fuzzies, two completely different genres.
There you go.
Right. Yeah. And Rob, you and I identified that when we hang out at the Your Turn Board Game Cafe.
Sure.
When we see people come in, they'll walk that mile-long row of board games.
Oh yeah.
But where do most families end up?
Yep.
It's
back on the. Yep.
Sorry.
And one of the things Your Turn's done that's nice like that is they have a section there that is just those mass market games. They have a couple sections that are those mass market games, but it's fun, like you say, to watch people come in that aren't in the modern board gaming hobby, and they walk up and down, their eyes get all big, and oh, what is this? What is this? What is this? They pick up a handful of games, they turn them over, they look at the back of them, and you see them put them back down and be like, let's go back and grab Sorry or Clue or something, and that's where they always end up. But I mean, if that's
Wayne, Michael, I'm going to send this one your way. Pieces Board Game Cafe wants to know, we were talking about art and board games. What are your thoughts on Canvas? Wayne, Michael, this one's yours.
I've never played the game, so I don't know if it's in regards to the art itself or the gameplay.
I think both. We've played a decent amount of Canvas here in the house, and most people know that my wife has done a lot of theater work, so she has a lot of friends that are artists, and we played Canvas one night with a friend of hers that's a painter, and she was digging the game like you wouldn't believe, because she could see the the combination of like the special scoring and sort of some of the terminology and how you build your paintings in Canvas and fit into the art world. So like I think that game is multifaceted in the art. Is one, it's clearly people who developed the game knew something about art theory, and then it's a beautiful game, right? The production value, just the pieces, the cards are all beautiful, and then you're also creating your own version of art on top of it. That is, so it's I think that's probably one of the quintessential examples to me of art in board games. And I think and we've had that debate when we talked about like the Dice Tower Awards last year, where I think Mitchell and I said that
what cheat mode
right
for best art.
Right, but because it has multiple facets of it. You're creating art. It's got art theory. And it's a beautiful game. So to me, it hits all the aspects of a game that really sings to art in games.
Mm.
Yeah, I'd agree. I know Mike said he hadn't played that. I've played Canvas probably 3 or 4 times, I think, 3 or 4. Nick Oben owns it, and when it first came out, he brought it up to several of the Wesley Chapel game days, and it was Mechanically, it's pretty simple. So it didn't hit with me the first time. The second time I played it, I liked it better, and then I played it, like I say, 1 or 2 more times since then. But there's no doubt it's a pretty game. I mean, it comes with little easels. It comes. Oh, we got a call coming in. I think Carlos has said.
Beans and Dice Podcast. State your name. Where you're calling from.
This is Jim Odak from Tampa.
Hello,
hey,
Jim Odak.
How are you?
How's it going, gentlemen?
Hey, didn't I just see a picture of you in the same
Oh, yeah. He was
Daytona International last week?
They're with me last weekend.
Yeah.
So here's the big question, though. It's you and it's Robert, and you're at Daytona, and you're camping for the weekend. What games did y'all play?
None.
It rained. Games don't come out
and
in
it
the
was
rain.
windy.
Yeah, it was really windy. Yeah, super windy. We talked about that on Sunday when we were sitting there watching the races. We talked about how I was like, you know what? I brought 3 games. James brought he brought the table and the chairs. I brought the games, and we didn't get any amount. So we were kind of reflecting why. And was like, well, you know, it rained one night. It was windy all day one day. So it just wasn't on the agenda. It just didn't happen.
It is hard to game in a campsite. Like, it's very scary.
Yeah.
You know, so I was trying to decide what games to bring. I ended up with Pitch Car, Downforce, and Puñeta. I'm sorry, excuse my language.
Whoa. Yeah, mark this one, adult.
Is it after 10 o'clock yet?
No, not even close.
Is it Rally Man? Is that what you brought?
No, the one that's made out of plastic cards. The 2-player.
Not Palm Island?
The 2-player.
Radlands.
Radlands.
Oh, Radlands. There you go.
I brought Radlands because I figured if it's raining or moist, I can just bring out Radlands and not worry about it.
There
You
go.
brought your
Neoprene
super special, like collector's edition version of Radlands?
Neoprene mat and all that.
The
good
deluxe
stuff?
version, yeah.
Wow.
Oh, okay.
Look at you.
Jim Odak, learn from that. Bring games that can get wet.
And don't blow away.
And don't blow away. Yeah.
Well, I did play a game, just to throw it in. I did play a game with my son in the tent of zombie dice. So we got zombie dice in.
There you go.
But go ahead, Jim. Show's yours.
Hey, you're talking about art, right? So there's kind of 2 aspects, I think, of the art, right? You got the colorful art where it's, you know, a piece of artwork and everything's very colorful and pleasing. But isn't there a big trend now going of art being like, you know, large pieces and figurines and all that sort of stuff, like, you know, Foundations of Rome, right? It's not, I wouldn't say the most artistic, but it's artsy because you've got these big 3D pieces you're playing with.
Yeah, chunky. Yeah. That might be a thing. I haven't noticed a trend towards that. I mean,
statues are art, right? So if you look at Foundations of Rome, it could have been New York 1901 with flat tiles to represent buildings of different sizes.
Yeah.
But instead, they went with statues.
Yeah, all these games have little cardboard pieces, right? Now we're starting to get all these, you know, I can't think of the right word for it, but the figurines and the pieces, you know.
Figures.
Oh, there's no doubt that the
Minis,
Kickstarter, I think, has really been driving that. All that stuff's flashy, all the minis and terrain and all that sells big. That brings in the dollars. So I think Kickstarter's been a big chunk of that.
Yeah, you think about how many gamers' homes have you walked into over the last 5 or 10 years, and you've seen them displaying some of the figures from these games, or someone's got a shelf of all the Star Wars miniature ships that they've painted or messed with, or things like that. So I mean, it's pretty common to see that.
And I've got an X-wing ship up there, tilting up just a little bit. I don't know if you can see it all the way up top over there. Here's one of the old X-wing large models.
Oh, you still have the Raider?
Oh yeah, I got it displayed up there, and I've got you can't really see them. I can't zoom in this camera, but up here I've got a bunch of little minifigures and stuff across here that I just pulled out of random games. So yep.
Anyway, I mean, for me, I've gone from like playing Risk, which was just tiny little triangular pieces, right?
Yeah.
to Scythe, where I've got all these detailed mechs and leaders and whatnot.
Oh yeah, size a great one,
It's
especially
really
if you upgrade some of those bits. I'm sure you have. I know Carlos has upgraded all the little stuff to the real metal and all that. So
I just stickered all my meeples this year. I haven't got it to the table yet, but I stickered all the meeples, so they all have little colored stickers. So the nomad, the gnomes, the
farmers.
The farmers.
The gnomes.
What are they called?
The garden gnomes.
The Nordic. They kind of look
all the Nordics are gnomes. So we just lost that market. All those Nordic gnomes, those people.
Edmund will never call in again.
Exactly.
Edmund from Sweden.
Yep.
That's gnome
territory,
right?
Okay.
I don't know.
Hey, Jim, save us. What's going on?
All right, so Jim, you're talking about the move towards the minis, the figurines, as I mispronounce it each time.
Figures.
Yeah.
Has it jumped a shark for you yet? Like, has it gone too far for you yet? When it that jump from cardboard to minis, plastic.
Well, you never realize it's too far until you're well past it, right? But I think it's getting there, but I'm still horribly addicted.
Yeah, and I've seen a lot of people predicting, and again, going back to Kickstarter, I've seen a lot of people predicting that the industry is going to come back from that in the next year or two. They're predicting that we're going to see less of these huge, overproduced, extra mini kinds of things, partially because of the economy. People just can't afford dropping $400 or $500 now to get 150 minis with their board game and all the terrain and again what I would consider kind of overproduced stuff. A lot of games like Flamecraft have shown that in a smaller box with just some nice little wooden meeples that have some screen printing on them or whatever can really, be nice. They've got some nice little components. Everdell, another example of that, the little squishies and all that they've got at Everdell. I mean, it's a step down from what we're seeing in some of these huge Kickstarters that are coming out, but it can still, if you do it the right way, spend the money in the right places, you can still make an affordable product, but that really looks nice. So.
I think like my father's work, I think, was a nice balance.
Yeah, that's another one that wasn't too bad.
Balance? Yeah. What do you mean balance, bro? There's nothing balanced about my father's work.
There's a lot in there.
Yeah,
there's a lot in there.
$400, but it had some really nice pieces that enhanced the game.
It's the whole thing is an enhancement. Like the board, the wooden meeples are all screen printed. I mean, the it's true glass. Like I was so afraid of breaking a glass vial.
Glass bottles.
It was actual glass with corks.
Carlos being careful with his games. Imagine.
Oh no, that's not a thing. It was because it was somebody else's game. It was Michael Fortino's game.
Oh, okay.
That's when he got careful.
It belonged to Armada Games. I was not about to break and buy because I could not afford that.
You've got like gamers like Rob and I that are more dry Euro gamer type.
Give me cubes.
Yeah, well, but like you and I will go in on a big box game like once in a while. Like you got Frosthaven, right?
Yep.
I got the Castles of Burgundy, right? And like in the last year, I got the Wingspan big box. So I would limit the sort of crazy over. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, we're talking about that.
Anyway.
So, but like I don't that whole trend. People like Rob and I are now we're gonna go out and buy 10 different Kickstarters with all the minis. Like, but Mike, you're one of the guys that does a lot of these big Kickstarters, right? So the trend in the industry would change when people like you go, I've had enough of these big boxes.
I've hit that point already. I've shied away from multiple.
But it's okay. They got a Jim Odak behind a Mike Lorenzo, right, Jim? Jim's still on the upswing next generation of buying minis.
Yeah. Right. That's what I was going to say is like, not only is it just, some of them are just ridiculously large, like the games. And then you're talking about shelf space, which a lot of people are running out of. And then like there are certain games that are going to live in this house. Like I would never take them to a game day because it would just be way too much to lug around. And, some of those, Frosthaven's one of them. I mean, it's funny that Foundations of Rome was mentioned because I literally brought that last night to a friend's house to play it because I hadn't played it in so long, and it really is a great game. But like that's probably the largest box I would ever bring to anybody's home, just because it's a pain in the butt to drag all these boxes around and
pushing it. That game really is made to go away nicely, but still, I can't imagine taking that somewhere. That's a lot. Yeah.
It's an entire game bag.
It's a game bag, basically, right?
Board game shelf. But that's the thing is, I think where people are predicting that the market's going to slow on those bigger games. Is I don't think that the number of people like you, Mike, that are getting tired of too many big box campaigns, you're not being replaced by. It's almost like you need 2 for 1. Like every time someone goes, I'm done with big campaigns, you need 2 people to come in. And I don't think it's growing that. I think the board game industry is growing, but I think we are hitting a point of saturation because I think other people realizing I'm never going to play all these giant campaign games. If I had 4 Frosthavens, I'm never going to play 4 Frosthavens.
And like you said, I think it's getting to the point where a lot of people they don't have the money to spend.
Right.
That's another thing that kind of fell into my lap. It's just like, I mean, could I really spend the money? Yeah, if I really wanted to, but I really don't want to at this point. Like I'm kind of over the whole big Kickstarter, hoopla. So, but I mean, I think you're right though that the people replacing the people going out may not be as great to like maintain that type of level of consistency.
Yeah. So Jim, wrap us up on this topic. What will it take for you to join the Lorenzo style of I'm done with buying these big ones?
Well, I think it's some of the Kickstarters I've actually finally ever showed up.
That would do it.
Tired of it.
Stuff sitting on the shelf.
Damn it.
Yeah, it's one thing to think about the game coming. It's another thing to figure out where the heck am I going to put it.
Yeah. What's one of the big ones that you're waiting on right now?
I would need. I did the second print of the Great Wall, which I think is behind you. I got Lords of Ragnarok, and Castles of Burgundy.
There you go.
Yeah,
that's half your calyx right there.
Yeah, make some shelf space.
Burgundy should be in like April, May this year. We should have the nice fancy Burgundy copies.
I hope so. I want to play y'all's nice copies.
Yes.
An email came out today that they're.
I still got to play Great Wall. I got to get that one to the table.
I want to try that sometime too. Jim's itching to play that, so we got to play that. Jim, we got to set up a day sometime.
Well, thanks for your call, Jim.
Mine's supposed to arrive like next month or so. So
okay,
we appreciate you, homie.
Let us know when it comes in.
All at once. All righty.
Good night. Have a good night, Jim. Thanks for calling.
Bye, gentlemen.
Diego in the chat there real quick. I just got a point. It says nothing but rolling rights for 2023. Woo!
Hey, speaking of rolling rights, I just we were talking a couple of weeks ago about those like $10 print and plays.
Oh, nice!
I just backed another one, man. Roll for the Great Ones. Have you seen that one?
Haven't heard of it.
Oh man, like it looks so good, and it's like Cthulhu based, but some of the comments on there are like. This is as involved as like a regular board game, and it's just a print and play, but it's got different scenarios, and oh man, I'm more excited about those print and plays now because it's more of you can spend $5 and you're gonna get it like in a couple of months. Like everything's pretty much ready and it gets in your hands, and you're gonna print it in a couple of months. And it to me, that like keeps the excitement alive, for the game. Where some of these games, I've been waiting so damn long. It's kind of like, not that I buy into the hype, but it's like, all right, when the hell is it going to get here? You're kind of over it, with some of these other games. But
Pieces Board Game says Heroes, Land, Air, and Sea, heavy and huge, doesn't fit in a calyx. I agree. I've got that and the expansions. It's a great game. That's a great game. And then we got Chad Stilson says, I'm saving money for Stonemaier games. It's supposed to drop next week.
What?
So what is Stonemaier? Is there not?
Look at Carlos, man.
He hinted this week on his live
Jamie,
cast
call me,
that
Jamie.
He's got some big announcements next week with regards to games and stuff coming out. So we'll have to see.
Nice.
Beans and Dice Podcast. State your name. Where you're calling from?
Well, hello, Mr. Daytona, USA, in the infield there.
I know that voice.
It's our Boston Beans and Dice. How you doing, Getty?
Oh, I'm doing awesome. Not as good as you, though.
Hey, the heater's working now. I feel much better. The Michelob Ultra is kicking in, so things are feeling good. Looking forward to a long weekend of racing.
Man. Oh, looks fantastic.
Those GTP cars, man. Those new GTP cars.
Those are cool looking.
Oh, they're so awesome.
I really like that BMW that's out there.
The BMW, they got those huge kidneys grills
on the front. Yeah.
And they're lit up in like a circle. It's like outlined.
Really cool.
And they each have a different color. Sure. Oh my God, it's gorgeous. I'll post pics.
Yeah, I like them on the race cars. I don't like those huge kidney grills on the street cars. I think they made a oof.
Yeah, that was a boo boo on the street cars.
Yeah, those prototype cars look cool. Yeah.
I paid $80,000 for that. Ooh, okay. Yeah, I don't know, man. Well, hey, anyway, big doings on the Beans and Dice tournament front here. So let's get a couple of quick announcements out of the way.
Yeah.
So first of all, our second Rallyman race started tonight with on the frozen flagon was the word you're looking for there, Rob.
Oh, flagon. That was it. My bad. Yeah, frozen flagon. That was
It's not a cup. It's a flagon.
It's a flag. It's a kind of cup, but yeah, same thing. And then, we just started sign-ups for the Seven Wonders Architect Tournament. That's going to start in mid-February. I'm thinking like probably the 13th or so. And sign-ups are open for that. So as usual, go to the Discord, and everything, all the info should be there for you. And hopefully we can get a nice big field for that. That'll be fun.
Yeah, it's going to be open to anybody who's part of the Beans and Dice crew. So if you're not already in the Discord, you can just go on and would you have to request to be in, and then we'll get you approved, get you into the Beans and Dice Discord channel. And then once you're in there, you can sign up. We've got a page set up just for people who want to participate in each of the tournaments. You just find the tournament page, put your name in there, and then we'll get you signed up. And like I said, we're going to try to keep cranking these things out just as long as we got people who can run them. So we really appreciate Rich running these things for us.
Oh, and actually, thank you very much. It's been fun.
Yep, and we actually started getting back to
the directions, right, Wayne?
Yeah, exactly. No one reads directions. We as a running gag, we actually got back to. I know that during the holidays we got away from it, but we're getting back to doing Monday, Wednesday nights from like 8:30 to 10:30. People who are available, they can hop in the Discord, voice chat, and we've been playing some PGA games, live. Last night we actually played a couple different games. We Getty took us through. Rich took us through a race of Rallyman, just kind of giving pointers to James, who did not so well in his first race because he didn't quite understand how the halos and the colors and the warnings and stuff. So we joked about Rich's nice detailed explanation on how Rallyman works. And
nice.
But and then on Monday night I taught Clans of Caledonia, and then we played a couple other games here and there. So if people are available and they want to play live games on BGA, if you don't want to play async games, we do them Monday nights, Wednesday nights, and then we're always posting asynchronous games. So if you're interested in playing some BGA games, both live online or in tournaments, then that's just join us on Discord.
Yeah, playing those games live has been really great. I'm glad we fired that back up again, because there's no substitute really for especially for learning a game. Caledonia, I know. Yeah.
Or go ahead. I was going to say I've been looking to get in on those. We've only done, I think, 2 of them this last week, and I need to get in because I really like the idea that we have people volunteering now to teach games, and so some games that are on BGA, Board Game Arena, that I know I jump into games all the time just to learn new games, but it's a lot easier if you have somebody who's live who on the Discord can kind of walk you through your first couple turns, kind of teach you how to do it. I think that's a great idea. But go ahead, Rich.
Oh yeah. No, absolutely, and it's. It's one thing if you say, well, hey, look, here's how you do this, and here you watch this video or read this document or whatever. But there's no substitute for having somebody just walk you through how something works. Just like Wayne was saying with the Rallyman stuff, and walking Jim through a race there, because some of the finer points of that game, especially, are they're tough to kind of grok. Just from reading or from watching a video. You really need to have somebody kind of holding your hands through it, and then it clicks and you're good to go. It makes all the difference.
That's what made me fall in love with BGA to begin with, was the live game with Mitch learning, like Chocolate Factory, right? That was huge. The live play. The async became fun after that. It kind of waned.
Yeah, I heard you say it.
Waka.
But the live play is where it's at.
Absolutely.
For your attention.
Absolutely. That's great. So, yeah, we don't have much. I don't know. Wayne and I haven't really talked about it, but I can see, maybe some of these sessions, maybe we'll announce beforehand, hey, we're going to do game X, and if you're interested in learning, we'll teach it and we'll play it live. And then sometimes it'll just be kind of hey, we're going to wing it. We're going to play some casual games or whatever. You know what I mean? It can evolve, and it can just grow into whatever we want. So it's really cool.
Yeah, I think that's the hope is as people want to, if people want to learn a game, ask for it. Like, hey, if I come Monday night, can anyone, run me through Clans of Caledonia or Agricola, or whatever, and or someone could offer like, hey, anyone want to learn Teotihuacan or Teotihuacan or whatever how you pronounce it.
That's a tough one.
English is my first language. Those kind of things. And then the other nights, like, hey, let's play Celestia or let's play, Stella or some, party games, just one, things like that. So we can kind of mix it up. So
yeah, exactly. And I can certainly see doing some live real-time Seven Wonders Architects in anticipation of the tournament coming up, so that would be cool. Yeah. Weird segue here, weird left turn, but Ron actually made me think about this when he was talking about
left turns are the best turns.
Imperial Assault. Yeah, Imperial Assault and the minis and all that. I don't know if you guys noticed, but on all these huge Kickstarters, especially the CMOD ones, right? Mm-hmm. So much of the bonus content seems to be devoted to these. I'm talking about these mini heavy games, like Zombicide and that stuff. So much of the bonus content seems to be devoted to playable characters, like yet another Wild West hero for the Zombicide, Old West version. It's like, oh, hey, you can get these 6 more playable characters that I have no connection to, and I don't really care about.
Get your dead presidents or whatever it was.
Right. I mean, I would personally much prefer, hey, give me 6 new enemies. Give me 6 new guys to fight. I don't really care about, Joe Blow, the cowboy. I don't know, but that seems to be the trend. So many of these Kickstarters, it's like, oh, you'll get 2 new enemies and 8 new playable characters and blah blah blah. It's not what I'm really looking for, and I'm just wondering if I'm coming out of left field with that, because that seems to be the trend.
I don't think you are, right? Because, Marvel United, like, that's how it built its whole self off of. Is, hey, look, you can be Guardians of the Galaxy now. Or, hey, look, you can be X-Men now, right? And yes, they throw in a villain to go with them. But when I hunted out, curated the Marvel United stuff I wanted, I went for the stuff that added a different game mode or a big enemy. So like the Sentinels or like the Infinity Gauntlet or, Guardians of the Galaxy specifically, because I liked that MCU franchise best of all. But I will say, Getty, Rich, it comes from, for me, it comes from the game system. Like that's what matters to me. Like right now I'm playing, como se dice, how do you say, nieta?
There you go.
Did it again.
Massive Darkness 2.
There you go. Yeah.
So we got that going on at home now. And I'm like,
okay.
There are not enough player characters for this. Like, I want more of this, and it's because of the system. The system of Massive Darkness, the villains, the bad guys, whatever, they're baddies. You bash the door, you beat them up. The gimmick of this game is that every player character has a different mechanism to play with. So I guess if the game has characters that are so different, then I'm going to desire to play them. Marvel United, they practically all play the same with a slight variation.
Asymmetrical powers.
Yeah.
There you go.
Asymmetrical.
Yeah, that's that's what I'm. Let's not get back into 18 and all that.
After dark. Yeah.
We don't need to go down that road again.
Oh, we're driving and you're leading the car.
Yeah.
No, but I think it's valid though. There's a lot of games
about.
come. Yeah. Too many heroes and not enough villains. Even like Mansions of Madness and like some of the Arkham Horror stuff is you get a million different player characters, but you end up gravitating towards the ones you like. You want to play Spider-Man, you want to play Ash Campete, right? But more villains and different people to fight against. That makes it more exciting. So I'm kind of with you on that.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Mansions of Madness or even Imperial Assault, where you're not talking about. Maybe they'll have some minor ability, right? But Mansions of Madness, that's not the case. They're just jumbling the same 5 stats or whatever. It's just a different combination of stats and a different looking model. no, I don't want that. Give me something cool, something else, something different to fight,
Yeah.
I don't know. Rant's over. I'm done.
That's okay.
How's the weather up north in Massachusetts?
Not bad. Once again, we've managed to elude the horrors that are taking place seemingly everywhere around New England, but not.
I feel like every time we talk, it's colder in Florida than it is up there.
It's
really
true.
strange. It's really strange.
Hey, you need to come down here and pick up your winter. It's running around my yard all crazy.
Yeah. And just to burst your bubble, Tampa Bay Lightning 3, Boston Bruins 2.
I was just getting ready to ask, did anybody know the score of the game? Yeah.
Go Bolts.
Go Bolts.
Oh, is that is that the final score?
That is the final score, yes.
Oh, 3-2 final.
Oh. Well, you can't win them all. You can only win almost all of them, which is
they've been hot lately. Boston's been on a roll. They won like a 7 or 8 in a row, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, can't complain there.
We'll see how it works out. They'll probably blow it like they usually do. But anyway,
long way to go.
All right, guys. Well, hey, have a good night, and talk soon.
All right.
Okay, man. Nice.
Thanks for calling.
Thanks. How about them Cowboys? Back to
Wow.
They won a game in the playoffs. It's all right.
Oh man, I love that. There's a meme, whatever, of Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders. There's like 2 elderly women, and it's like, current cheerleader taking photos with the last time the Cowboys won the Super Bowl.
Been a little while.
Chad Stilson talks about recently adjusting his Marvel United pledge. He dropped the Galactus box to get another box that gives him more characters and villains rather than one miniature. But I think the one thing I would say is that the one miniature thing usually comes with a variant to the rules. Like that one big miniature plays different. It just adds a different flavor. So
that miniature was like what was it, a 14-inch miniature or something? It was 1.5 feet tall. So
like the baby Cthulhu.
Yeah,
the toddler Cthulhu,
equivalent size. Yeah, it was. I think about the same size. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so it's I wouldn't call that a miniature at that point. It's what, bigature? Is that what you said earlier, Wayne?
Bigature, yeah.
Bigature. Yeah, that's what they're
Oh,
called.
we got a call coming in. It's Nick. Should I answer?
Oh,
yeah. We can talk about dice rolling.
Okay. Hi, Nick. How's your dice rolling?
Hello and good evening. Happy Thursday, gentlemen. This is Nick from Wesley Chapel.
Hello,
Happy
Nick
Thursday.
from Wesley Chapel. Welcome to the show.
Oh, thanks. Enjoying it. I almost didn't call because I wanted to give you guys a chance to breathe and actually run your show for a minute. But
that's right.
It is a call-in show.
It's a call-in
show.
We want the call.
This is how it's supposed to go.
That's it. I mean, every time I hesitate, I'm like, nope, they want the call. So even if it's me.
Even if it's Nick.
No, but I'm doing well.
We voted and we agreed to answer the phone.
We did before we answered. Yeah, we voted.
Yeah.
I heard the hesitation in your voice, though.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow. I didn't say anything.
No, but great show, good topics tonight. I'll throw in because we were just talking about the Kickstarter pledges and whatnot. I'm right there with you, Michael. I haven't backed a Kickstarter beyond anything but like the Dice Tower one, and actually I did do the Great Wall reprint that Jim mentioned, but only literally to get the updated rule book and like one other thing. It was literally like a $30 pledge that I did, because I did get the first version. So they go, well, I guess I need the new rule book. But Kickstarters for me are basically a thing of the past until maybe I'll be part of the next gen. Next gen, I'll get plugged back in. But
You will.
Yeah. It's been actually a little like cathartic and therapeutic though to see Kickstarters come out and just really not care. Like I'll see it and I'll be like, yeah, looks like a cool game. I'm sure someone else will back it.
Yeah.
And I'll play it. I might play it in 2 years then, kind of thing. So.
Nick, my whole thought process on that has changed from, oh my God, I got to have that, to I'm sure somebody will back it and want to get rid of it, and that's when I'll pick it up. If I still want it.
There you go.
At that point.
If you still want it. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. I don't think I've been badly burned by any of my Kickstarters, but there have absolutely been $100 purchases that after I got it and played it, it's kind of like, well, that was not worth $100, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
I've had a couple of stinkers, definitely.
Yep. But anyways, so yeah, I'm just throwing out there. I do think a little bit of an ebb and flow is probably in store. Although, who knows? I do think it's a good comment to make that for every Nick and Michael out there probably is a Jim and so coming in that's kind of like, well, yeah, I'm ready to back and do something. Let's go. You know?
Sure.
We'll see.
Yeah.
But anyways, I have almost too happily still been not playing that many physical in-person board games. In recovery mode from the game of day. Now things have just been crazy busy. Carlos, you'll be happy to hear. Tonight was opening practice night for my son's baseball team. And I agree.
Do you say baseball? You say baseball?
Baseball. Yeah, baseball.
Baseball's been very, very good to me.
Yes. And so yeah. So I agree with your assessment about the weather. I am dad of the year over here and did not really check the whole, like, oh, how cool is it going to be at the field at 7 o'clock after the sun's been for an hour, you know? And so, man, we are out there in our t-shirts and baseball pants and shorts.
Let me interrupt I got my oldest is 19 now. He's been playing since he was, I think, like 5 or 6, right? And he's in college now. Brother, spring tryouts are always the coldest tryouts. Learn that. Like, if you're going to spring tryouts or first practices, be prepared. They are the chilliest of the year.
Yeah, it was. I was at. While you were at your baseball practice, I was at my son's soccer practice. Equally as freezing. Although I was fine, but all the moms there, they have blankets and parkas and hats and stuff. It's like, guys, it's not that cold.
I felt bad for Landis because, I mean, it's not really, basically he gets home from school, we shove some food in his mouth, and we say, okay, you got like an hour before we got to go for practice. And we're kind of busy, we're moving and shaking, time to go. All right, get in the car, let's go. We get to the field, and like, I'm the only numbnut that didn't check the temp. I mean, like, everyone there has got jackets and long sleeve this, long sleeve that, scarves. And Landis, I look at Landis and I'm like, sorry, buddy. Like, it's not your job to say, hey, don't forget your coat. That's Daddy's job. Oops, my bad. Although now he will remember. This is a valuable character building lesson. So there you go. All right, and then I do have a board game thing for you though, if you're interested.
Do it.
So I might run this one as the combined two topics. One, just what I've been playing lately, and two, the whole live play on BGA and using BGA as a teaching tool, because I do think that's amazing. I have learned more games in a short period of time on BGA than would have been possible in person. Right? I'm not saying I've learned more games on BGA than ever before, but it's more in a short period of time than would have been possible in person. You can just cycle through the plays and kind of get them in. Doing asynchronous plays is great for that. I'm excited for the live play. The game that I have just now started playing with some other friends on BGA is a 2017 title, not brand new, but Anachrony, the time travel game.
Nice.
You guys ever
I cannot imagine that on the digital. I've seen Rob play it live, and there's so much going on there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. I mean, you end up scrolling. So not all BGA games are equally perfect for their screen real estate. You do end up scrolling on the phone. Yeah, no, actually, it's a good point. This is not a BGA. It's one of the only games that on the phone I think is really like, no, you basically just don't do it. If it's your turn, you wait until you can go to your laptop and you take it on the computer, and then it's fine. You scroll a little bit to see your player board versus the main board. But this is my first play of it, and I love how they did a game about time travel. For those that may not know the game very well, it's a game played over like 6 or 7 eras or years or whatever it is. Time progresses on in the game, And starting at the very beginning of the game, though, time travel has already been created because, and this is the whole Stephen Hawking thing, if time travel would ever have been created in the future, in theory, we would know about it because people could travel back in time. So it's like literally infinitely far into the future, if time travel will ever be created, you would already know about it. So the game starts where time travel hasn't been invented in your era yet, but it hasn't been invented in the future, and so it already does exist. And so with that, you can request resources from yourself from the future to make your early turns more powerful.
At what point does my hand start to disappear?
Yeah.
McFly.
So that's it. That's it. That's my favorite part of how they themed the crap out of the time travel. So you borrow from yourself, right, from the future. Then later in the game, you have to repay yourself, right? You have to be your future you that owes resources back to your past you. And if you don't do
I
that
love this, man.
well enough,
It's good.
if you don't do it well enough, efficiently enough, then you start getting negative points. You start anomalies in the space-time continuum happen, and it messes up your current state.
Butterfly effect.
The longer you wait, the harder it is. You have to travel further back. Like if you still haven't paid yourself back from 4 rounds ago, it's really hard. You may not be able to do it anymore. So like it's this really neat ebb and flow of constantly trying to balance borrowing from yourself, knowing you're going to have to pay it back. And then the game does reward you for successfully paying back. You don't get, it's not just a zero-sum game. Like if I borrow 2 water from myself in the future, water is one of the resources, right? But if I borrow 2 water and then 2 turns later pay myself back, it's not just, okay, cool, you don't get an anomaly. You actually get points for doing successful time travel. And so it's a whole mechanic of the game. I think it's super clever. It's really, really neat. You get to decide how aggressive your early turns are and how much risk you want to take on, knowing that you're going to have to pay yourself back. It's cool. It makes sense, which is not something that all time travel things do. That's what I like about it. Time travel is kind of just one of those, it's kind of hokey. It can be done hokey, but they do it really well. So there you go. That's my board game, and I would love to run a BGA teach on it and kind of get into the various strategies and stuff.
Maybe into that one.
It's a fun game. It's been well since I played.
Rich, Kyle, myself, and somebody else are in a game on BGA, an async game. And independently, we've all said to each other, like, whew, there's a lot of async. I think maybe we need to play this one live to figure it out first. So,
yeah,
we would
there's
be
a
down.
decent amount going on that.
I think there would be a decent amount of people that would like to do a teach, and we could get probably a couple of different games going once we do a teach of it. It's definitely I agree with Nick that the concept of you can borrow resources from your future self at a certain point, then you have to go back and give it to yourself is such a great way to like tie up that line. And if you don't do it right, you can create sort of, anomalies and stuff. It definitely is a pretty cool, interesting story or theme and way to do the time travel.
Yeah.
It's a fun game. And then on top of that, if you check it out, on top of that, it's a compelling worker placement game. Like, I mean, the main mechanic of the game. The main mechanic of the game is there's some spots that are shared, but are harder to get to. So it's a little bit of a race to get to them, and it takes more resources to get to them. And then you do have your own player board that you develop over the course of the game by building on it. And so, it's a compelling worker placement game to start. The fact that it implements time travel in this really clever way is just I'm smitten, as you can tell. I love it. I think it's great. Good times. By the way, Carlos is after 10 o'clock. If you'd like to cuss at me,
go crazy.
You can now.
Yes, he's already drinking.
I got 40% battery life. Remember, everything's being run off of a USB setup right now. USB power supply.
Really good battery, man. That's lasting this long with everything running.
I've invested to try to make this a setup here.
You got like that, man. That's a good one. So Nick, you want to plug? Hours. Yeah, you've got Nick. You got a game day coming up this Saturday.
I do. Yes, thank you. That's right. They're at Your Turn. Your Turn Board Game Cafe. You may have heard of it in Becker Hills, Florida. So the Wesley Chapel group has not actually been to Your Turn in 2 or 3 months since right before the holidays. So I'm excited to be back there, and we should have a good crowd. I'll be bringing and running a game of Endless Winter. If there's a spot for me, I'll play. But honestly, I don't need to play. I know.
Robert, are you going to be there for that? Because we need to get the show playing this one.
I will be there. Absolutely. I'm hoping to have a seat at that table, but I'm planning to be there. Yep.
Good game.
Yeah.
Before I spend $60, I need to know if it's worth it.
I'll give you my opinion after
Thank you,
Saturday.
sir.
Yep. And so at noon to close.
Noon to close. I will actually go Bolts. I will be leaving probably somewhere in the 5 or 6 o'clock time frame. I have tickets to the Saturday night game. I think it's against the Kings, maybe. But
sounds right.
Yep, I'm gonna check now so I don't embarrass you. It is. Yep, it's Kings. So I will actually be leaving closer in the 5 o'clock time frame to make it down to Emily Arena. But yes, of course, Your Turn is open until they close.
That was prolific.
That's
bro.
right.
10 or 11. I don't remember. Yeah, 10 or 11
Sort
on
of,
Saturdays. Yeah.
I'm sort of stoked that my kids has soccer games both Saturday and Sunday. His Saturday game got canceled, so he's fine. I'll be there right at noon. I can stay.
That was a sarcastic.
That was
good for you. That was
good for me. Yeah.
Listen, so instead of taking it to the soccer field, you can bring the orange wedges and granola to the game shop.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I will
share those.
Looking forward to it.
I plan to be there start to finish, so I'll be there. Hopefully, Wayne will be there most of the day, and we'll play whatever you can bring and teach us until you have to leave.
Okay, Bobby. Yeah. We'll do Endless Winter probably on the early side. Get some early games on in between. It'd be good. But yeah, I'll be there at noon, and then I'll stay until I really feel the pressure to stay until I have to. Should be
nice. I know Patrick's bringing Three Sisters. Is that the rolling right? I want to get in on.
Oh man, dude, Three Sisters is money.
Yeah, I'm going to play that this Saturday.
That's a good one. I played that there at Your Turn with Patrick and his wife Sherry. A game ago or not? A game day ago. But it was good. Yeah, I like that one.
I played the predecessor. Patrick taught me a few months ago. He taught me Fleet the Dice game, which is the same designer. One. Yeah, so I really liked Fleet the Dice game, and then so I'm really looking forward to this one. And there's a third one on the way, isn't there, Michael?
Motor City.
There you go. So you're waiting. I know you.
I think I've seen this one.
Hasn't delivered yet.
Alex from Board Game Co. did a video of the prototype of that one.
Most likely, yeah.
Sounds right. Yep, looking forward to all that. So I'm going to hopefully get in lots of new games, and then I'll be able to report in our next show, next Thursday, on the call-in show about
update that
experiences.
That leaderboard there.
Yeah. Woo! Yeah, for sure. I'm going to post some new stuff up there.
I'll have my first update of the monthly game calendar. So.
Nice. There you go. Good stuff.
Yeah, it's looking good. This January's been probably one of the best months in years as far as number of games played. So.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, Nick, anything else for us before you go?
Cool. I think that'll do it for me, sir.
Well, appreciate you calling in as always.
Yeah, man.
Thank you, Bobby.
Have a great night.
See you, brother.
Thanks, see you soon. See you Saturday, man.
All right, I'm just going to sneak in real quick here. Just a quick, not too much of a bummer here, but we did lose. I know it's been in the board game industry news the last 24 hours. Serge Leger, designer. He's not. I wouldn't call him prolific. He didn't have a lot of games, but he has been designing games. His big, probably most well-known game is Shadows over Camelot, which a lot of people consider to be a classic game. He did Mystery of the Abbey, Nidavellir. He did a couple of lesser-known games, but he just passed away, I'd say about 48 hours ago, from what I understand, about 2 days ago. He'd been battling an illness, and I think he was in his 60s, so not that old a guy, but was pretty tragically lost. So, we lost a guy who made some real good games.
Yeah. Yeah, that sucks.
And we got a phone call here. Say hi, William.
What's up, fellas?
What up?
Say hi, William.
You got the
What's up,
link.
man?
You can pop
Hey,
in,
Mike,
man. We were looking forward to seeing the Suns Out, Guns Out again.
The cut off shirt. And
Actually, I got another one. I got another one on, but it looks a little bit better this time. No.
Oh, he dressed up and then he doesn't come on.
I can see the belly button.
Only one sleeve is cut off.
Yeah, I got a whole navel ring and everything for you guys.
Woof.
So,
Woof.
I got deluxe upgraded components for you next time.
Oh,
There
nice.
we go. For a little mosaic. How's the mosaic coming along?
I haven't painted it because I got other things going on. I'm finishing up my skill team. We didn't get to play last Friday because there was something to do with scheduling and attendees, so we're running it again. I'll be going this Friday. Your turn to run the kind of like the learn to play demo scenario. So everyone who goes there will be able to play, borrow one of Dan's beautiful painted teams if you don't have one, and do a friendly match going in. If you want to join in the league that he has going on, and you can win a lot of cool prizes and stuff. So I'll be there. I'm still finished painting my one more guy. That's it. That's what I'm working on now. So I've been busy today. So today was outside of board gaming. I'll give you guys a heads up. Today was the implantation day of to see if we can get a baby.
Oh, good luck.
Wow.
It's a worker
Awesome,
placement
man.
game.
Yeah, is that what they call that?
So yeah, it was
Worker
pretty stressful
insertion
today.
game. Yeah, it's a
So
new genre.
So it was pretty stressful today. So let's hope modern science works out for us.
You're in my prayer list, Bobby.
So that's right.
Wifey and I have been praying hard for y'all.
Yeah, I know. Just to add to that.
Well, the last one, man.
Last try.
That's a lot of stress you've been going through with that, and you know I've had other friends that have dealt with that in their relationship, and I've seen the stress that it puts on you. So, you know, when we see you step away from the show and not game as much, just know that we understand. We understand. There's no pressure. You come when you're ready, as you see fit. We got you.
Yeah,
what you did
I'll be
today.
back, maybe after February, we more on a regular schedule, I would say.
Yeah.
Good.
So, but I'm definitely going to, I got the okay to definitely go out my league on Friday, and I'm going to be at the board game group on Saturday at your turn as well. So I'll be there on Saturday. I'll be 2 days in a row.
Sweet.
Nice.
Rocking.
Gaming.
There you go, folks.
So,
Board gaming going on at your turn this weekend. Make it happen.
yeah, it's the place to be this weekend. Friday, Saturday, and if you want to, go ahead and go on Sunday.
Sure.
I'm sure Dan wouldn't mind.
What the heck?
Well, I wish you the best.
Other than that, I mean, I'll pop in when I can, but if you guys want, I'll go ahead. I'll still bring out the guns if you like. But, you know, you guys go ahead and if you like it.
I got to get you over to the house for
whatever
some Massive Darkness 2. I know we played Swords and Sorcery. We've done some Descent. I want you to try Massive Darkness 2. I think you're going to like it.
Okay. I'll give anything a try. That's fine. Speaking of board games for Saturday, does anybody want me to bring anything in particular?
I've gotten where I don't even bring games to these meetups anymore. I mentioned that the last couple, that it's just so many people bring so many games. So I'm just going to play whatever's there. I wouldn't recommend bringing a bunch. I mean, we're at your turn. They've got over 2,000, 2,500 games there now or something. So it's crazy.
I only bring like one, maybe two at the most. That's it.
There you go.
I don't bring anything more than that ever.
Yep. I don't have anything in particular.
So,
like I said, I know I'm getting in the Roll and Ride. I'm playing Three Sisters. I'm getting in Endless Winter, and I think somebody else mentioned another game we were going to play. But you know, I've got room for another one on the docket if you get something you want to play.
I know Dan doesn't have a copy. I might bring Foundations of Rome.
Okay.
I want to play that again.
I haven't played it in a while. Yeah,
Because I've been playing 1901, 1908.
Compare
What
it
is
now?
it? Wayne,
New
what
York,
is it?
New York 1901.
1901. Because I've been playing that a lot lately, I want to give Foundations of Rome another try. I think my first time I played it, it was okay. I gave it a down score because of the cost, like the $300 box set. Like I didn't get my money's worth, but I want to compare it now.
Pay that much? What are you talking about?
It was like $250.
Dude.
It was like $250
No,
at
it was
the.
$250 for the sun drop. It was
That's what it
$200
was.
for the regular.
You know what?
Yeah.
It's only $200. I'm sorry.
Not on the
Only.
first one though. The first Kickstarter wasn't that much.
Yeah. I want to play it again on the list.
Okay, well, why don't you?
Because Wifey really liked 1901. I wonder what she would think of Foundations of Rome.
She would love it.
I think so.
I think it's probably a really good casual game, and for people who don't play board games or new, because of how it pops out on the board, people are going to be like, "What are this?" And it's just an eye catcher.
Yep.
People are going to be like,
sure.
"What's this?"
Table presence.
And then all you got to do is says it plays like this, and we're like, "Ooh, okay, I want to try it." And that's it. That's all you have to say. I think most people will give it a try.
Plus, it has modules you can swap in and out.
Yeah, I want to try some of the modules.
Yeah. I've been playing so far. I play always with the monument, the special buildings you can build. Like Temple of Jupiter, all those kind of deals. But I haven't done the selective roll, the asymmetrical rolls. I haven't done those yet. Or the there's also a cooperative module as well.
Sounds interesting.
You have to like build up Rome within a certain amount of turns or something like that.
Cool.
So, but yeah, you know what? I'll bring that. I'll bring that and that on.
Okay.
That only.
Sure.
I'm gonna put on the shelf. I'm gonna give it a break.
I'd be down to give that a shot. I actually have not gotten to play it yet. So
I was say, I'm sure you'll have no problem getting people to play that one.
Yeah.
It is. It does play up to 5, I think.
nice.
5, yeah, that sounds right. Yep.
I'll probably bring my usual 3 or 4 out-of-print games to see if I get people to play some older games.
Give it a shot.
So, but let's let you know if anybody wants to play a little bit of Kill Team tomorrow. Show up at your turn around 6:00 Friday tomorrow.
Nice, not my bag. I'm not a miniatures gamer, but I know. Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna get Dan to help you get that started up. He likes the smaller miniature games like that, and I think it'll be a good way to get some people rolling in there for that.
Yeah, and I know in a week or two he's starting his Thunder Alley League over there on Saturday afternoons, 1:00, and I'm planning to jump in on that. So, yep, I'm looking forward to that. We're gonna do. I think it's an 8-race season. I think over about the next 2 months, and so yeah, good times. But yeah, he's trying to ramp up over there at your turn his tournaments. So he started. I think he's looking at 3 or 4 of them here in the next couple of
Organized play.
Organized play. There you go.
That would be really, really cool. I wish I could get out for that tournament to play.
Yeah. It's 8 weeks. There's 1 week that they already know they're going to be closed. So there's 1 weekend right in the middle that there's a week off. And then what he's doing is he's only going to count 7 of the 8 weeks towards the tournament points. So if you have to miss one of them, you can
nice.
Yeah, so
drop your lowest score.
Yeah, if you're there for all 8, you drop your lowest. If you have to miss a week, that'll be your lowest score, and then that one's your 0 will be dropped. So nice. I already know I've got a scout camp out one of the weekends for the crossover for my son to Boy Scouts, and so I know I'm going to miss that one already. So I'm going to try to make the other 7 so that I can be on there. But nice. Yeah, looking forward to it.
Very cool.
Yeah, he's implementing that same kind of rule into the Kill Team as well.
Cool.
So you can play all 7 matches, and then if you play all 7 matches, and you can drop your lowest one. Or you can just miss one. He's doing the same thing. I think that's a great thing to do.
Yeah, that's a really nice way of doing it.
So,
especially for in person. Yeah, you're going to have things come up, and so
yeah.
Right.
Awesome.
So, all right. Well, I definitely will see you on Saturday, Rob.
Yep.
Carlos, you going to be in town by then or no?
Nah, I'm going to be here watching racing, man.
He's going to be up there.
24-hour race.
I'm sorry.
Non-stop. 24 hours of racing, baby.
You're going to be there. Bored?
Don't be sorry. It's going to be amazing.
As long as you're not freezing.
Hey, do me a favor. Give me a call to decide to go right.
Oh, well, they go a little right on
this one has right turns.
They have a little road course here, a little infield.
Keep your jokes to yourself.
Right on
all right, man.
Take care, Bobby.
Thanks, Wayne. On Saturday. See you. Bye.
See ya.
I got to call it out here in the chat. So Edmund did chime in here. He's wanting his update on the old D&D thing. So I'm going to step back and let the guys who know what's going on with that. But let's get a quick update. What do y'all think about that?
It's hard to tell now. They put out their 1.2 draft, and they're putting it out to the community and letting people talk about it. And they're going to work. They're still going to try to walk it back slowly to get what they want anyway. And damage done. I think they're going to get their players, right? People are still going to play D&D, but I really don't feel like the microtransactions and bundles and buying stuff on. They've tried the digital stuff a couple times, so I don't see it. I don't have faith that WotC can pull it off. And I think the fact that, up to 15,000 or 1,500 other producers, whether it's a single person or big companies like Paizo and Green Ronin, and they're all going to come up with their own system that's agnostic from D&D, and it's going to be open source. So, I think it's good for the RPG industry. They're going to see some new innovation, new games, new game mechanics, new systems. D&D will still be D&D. They're still the biggest boy. They got 60-70% of the business, but I think a lot of people are going to try new things, which is cool. I like that. I mean, I'm a D&D guy. I have like all D&D books, right? And then over here, there's another shelf of non-D&D books, and I'll bust out Deadlands and 7th, and I just got in the Avatar: The Last Airbender RPG that will give it a shot. So I think it's always good to try new things. So. Yeah, I think D&D is going to.
I think people will dabble.
People will dabble and they may like it, especially if there's a one system that multiple game worlds can build in. That's easy enough to follow. But I just don't see, I don't see the trust going back. I think they've burnt like 20 years of open gaming license. They've ruined that trust. So,
but here's how I see it: is in the same way that I don't see the trust with I see the hate with Apple, but people still buy the phone.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Right?
Exactly.
We all talk trash about Facebook, but we all on it.
Yeah. But there are some people.
For a while there, people are going to talk trash about D&Ds and Wizards of the Coast and how they almost blew it in 2023, and then they're back buying the books. It's just too big. It's too big of a monster.
They are, but I think you're going to see a little bit of a fracture and I think D&D is going to hurt because they had 20 years of other people writing adventures for D&D, and if a lot of those people go and start writing adventures for the open whatever it is, the collective, then you're going to see D&D struggle because D&D, WotC and Hasbro they don't want to pay money for adventures, and adventures is what makes D&D great. It's the Return of Temple Evil. It's all these cool adventures that GMs don't even run half of those adventures, but they'll buy it and use it for ideas, use it for bits and pieces. And I think that's where they might hurt is some of that third party adventure stuff that really made it pop. But we'll see. So.
And the parallel would be, in my mind, is similar to the story of Blood Bowl. I know, Rob. Shut up. Blood Bowl was dead from 1997 to
2023.
Right.
Pretty much.
Still,
R.I.P.
But it wasn't supported. Games Workshop had nothing to do with it. It was the community that kept it going. The community had its website, updating the teams, updating the team rule sets and all that. That's what kept it alive. And then GW said, "Wait a minute, we can make money off this again." And boom, it was back. Yeah. And so D&D, in the same way, they can create a system 3.5, 4.0, and then survive for years off of just the communities pushing it forward. And that's where the people buy the main books, the main manuals, right? Because they need the main manuals to play the game using other people's rules, other people's adventures. Yeah. And I got my fire going again.
Yeah, I saw that. Nice. There you go.
Working on it. I got my badge, the scout badge. Mm-hmm. Thanks, Evan, for the question. That was great.
Yeah, that was a good one. So I got two things I could bring up real quick. Is one, my wife and I got to play Wingspan Asia this weekend.
How was it?
The two-player duet mode. It was really cool. It was good. I tell you what. What we did is we just played Asia, and we just used the Asia birds. We didn't mix it with the base birds, so we just wanted full on. If I had bought the expansion with not
the two-player box set that I have,
yep. So it plays exactly like Wingspan, right? You're basically just playing Wingspan. And then on your player board, you put those little yin yangs. And as you're building your birds, you're taking it off and putting on the little duet board. And that adds a little bit to it. It's nice because you can get, depending on where you place it, you may not get anything. You may get a card, or you may get food, or you may get whatever. And then there's specific scoring for end round goals for the duet boards. So that added a little coolness to it. And one of the scoring things was, around the outside, or the longest continuous line, or the most in the whatever, around the outside.
2 trailer park.
So I tell you what, so if you've played Wingspan and don't like Wingspan, you're not going to like Wingspan Asia. If you've played Wingspan and like it, you'll like Asia. It's great. Some of the bird powers are like really powerful, and it really ramps up your scoring ability. Some of the tuck abilities. There's a bird that fits on like it covers 2 spots instead of 1 because you turn it sideways even. So it's really just more Wingspan goodness. If you like Wingspan as a game, then Wingspan Asia is a good addition.
I still haven't even unshrunk mine. Shrunk? Is that the word? Shrink?
Yeah, I'll take it out.
De-shrunk it?
Yeah. But I tell you,
Jamie's going to quit sending you
he's
stuff.
Gonna quit sending you stuff. Yeah. I played.
It's cold out here. There's a lot of shrinkage. It's very cold out here.
Definitely. So yeah, I mean, I think I'm not gonna. I'm a fan of Wingspan. I like it a lot. It's a fun game. I think it's a good engine builder. It's a game that we play with friends that aren't big time gamers and some more hardcore gamers. So I think and Wingspan, the duet mode makes it, because you could play old Wingspan 2-player, but I think the duet mode, the duet board, the little extra bits kind of adds a little bit more spice to the 2-player version that makes it pretty enjoyable. So we had fun with it. It was good. Yeah. So that was one play of that this weekend that we did on her stream. So
in my views on that, in watching it, why I really want to play it, and I'm excited to eventually get to the table, is my understanding is it gives you a direction. It gives you a goal and objective.
Yep.
Right. Where normally in Wingspan, you're just kind of throwing stuff out there, running your little engine. But in that 2-player board, trying to be the first to have X or, type of birds or birds that eat this. Right.
Yeah.
So it kind of gives you little objectives, little goals to go after. Right.
You got objective cards in Wingspan, right? So
yeah.
those objectives. Yeah.
You have the objective cards, but this is a little bit more specific because the end of round objectives are specific to the duet board.
Okay.
And at the end of the game, you're going to score additional points based on your longest continuous line on the duet board. So if you're placing all over the duet board to get some of the small benefits, but you're not connecting it, you're not scoring. Like I scored maybe 5 points, but my wife was like 10, from her connected points. She crossed me, so the 10 points, the 5-point difference didn't matter. Yeah, I didn't have a good time, but I had one bird that, so it was actually, what's worse, some of the bird powers are cool because some of them, it's like push your luck. So there was a hunting bird that the rule was if you can draw up to 3 cards, and if the sum of the wingspan of the 3 birds was less than 120 centimeters, you kill all 3 and tuck it. Right, you tuck all 3. So you draw the first card, and it's only 20 centimeters. Good, I'll draw a second card.
Oh, I like
Wingspan, the purge.
That's cool.
I'll draw a third card, and there's a couple of various variants of those rules. There's another one that you roll. If you roll a couple times, you can roll and get multiple things. So I pulled the first one. It was like 20 something centimeters. Great. Pulled the next one. It was like 40. I'm like, it's like 60. It was like almost 70 centimeters. I'm like, man, 50 centimeters. What's the chance I'm gonna get a bird that's 50 centimeters big? Pull it. It's exactly 50 centimeters. So it's 120 exactly.
Oh, I love that.
And it has to be less than 120.
Oh no!
1 centimeter. 1 centimeter. And then like the next 3 rounds, I pulled. The first bird was 140 centimeters, 180. I'm like, gosh. So, but it was cool though. But yeah, so some of the bird
kind
powers
of a push your luck blackjack.
I love the pressure luck.
Yeah, the pressure luck thing gets you. That was really fun. I like that. And so there was another bird power. There was like at the end of every round, there's a bunch of cool end of round bird cards. There was one where it's like at the end of the round, you draw 5 bird cards. You take one, you can tuck one, and you have to give one to the other player or to the other players.
Nope, I never play those birds. I'm not giving anything.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. It was cool. I enjoyed. I think that's what's cool about this expansion is I think there's Europe didn't have too many new rules. I haven't played as much of Oceania. The nectar was the big thing there. Yeah. But the Asia bird powers were cool. There was some push your luck and some crazy swingy ones, and there was some powerful birds in there. So it was fun. We enjoyed that. So that was Wingspan Asia. So.
Cool.
Thank you. Nice.
What was the other one that you played real quick?
No, it wasn't a game. It was actually just a comment. So, I mean, Carlos and I generally watch. So Lance Meister from Undead Viking, he has like a weekly kind of thing like we do, but he doesn't allow call-ins. And it was cool because last night, Aldi from Board Game Geek, he wasn't at his house. He was actually at the Board Game Geek headquarters. And so he randomly turned on his phone. And about 30 minutes into the Alaboom last night, Aldi did about a 30-minute walkthrough of the sort of corporate warehouse headquarters of Board Game Geek.
And I didn't see him on the thumbnail.
No, yeah, he didn't jump in until about 40 minutes in. And
because
so
I saw the thumbnail, I almost watched it, but I didn't see him in there.
Yeah, you gotta. So maybe about 40 minutes in, he does the tour, and he's got like the one really nice kitchen and bathroom, and then their library, which is like 5,000 games, and then he goes into the warehouse, which just packed. I mean, it's a massive warehouse, and you can see all that, and then he's got a pinball room with like 30 pinball machines, or like 25 pinball machines at that, and he was there playing with a couple of the people from the Board Game Geek, and so it's just cool. It's cool. So if like I kind of enjoy those behind the scenes tours. Like Dice Tower just did one of their studio and the house that they bought. So it was kind of interesting to see just the size comparison though between like the Dice Tower house and how they've got everything packed into a house versus just giant warehouse office space that Board Game Geek's got.
That's where your annual fundraiser money goes, is towards pinball machines.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Yeah.
Well, I tell you that the warehouse, man, they had a lot of games. They had like just it was insane, like because all the stuff from the stores is held there. So they and it was cool because they actually had opened up a box and it was the new board game kids book from Ambi from Board Game Blitz, I guess. And he's like, oh. Probably shouldn't have shown you those. Those will be on the store tomorrow. And then today we just got the email update, like where they're January or February store update, and they're selling the book. So
cool.
Yeah. So I mean, if you have anyone's interested or enjoys those sort of behind the scenes videos, you can go find the Undead Vikings video, the weekly Alaboom last night's version. It was about 30-40 minutes in. Aldi gives that tour, so I thought that was pretty cool. I don't know.
Cool.
I'm a nerd for that stuff.
Very cool.
Yeah, I want to apologize. The Daytona International Speedway
airport
abuts an airport, so you might occasionally hear a plane flying by. Take it off.
Yeah.
Hey, Mike. Before we jump into Rob's Frosthaven updates, what updates do you have for the folks at home?
Not too much, really. Waiting on Motor City to deliver next week. Got a couple of games of Foundations of Rome in. Starting to like that one again. Trying to see if Oros. I finally got Oros to the table.
Oh, how was that?
Okay, it's one of those games I need to play again.
Enough said. Yep.
Because it was kind of like rushed. I was like, let's get this one to the table because I had 3 friends over, and it's I didn't have the rules down 100%, so it was kind of like we're kind of like fumbling through it, but I find it a little fiddly. There's a lot of tiles that you're shifting around.
That's a copyrighted term from Rob. You're not allowed to use that.
Fiddly.
Oh, okay. I find it a little fiddly.
Trademark being the dice. Yeah, a little fiddly.
Yeah, I mean, but I think there's definitely a lot of strategy in it. But yeah, so that's probably the newest one that I played. There's another game that I can't remember what it is, but somebody was just I think it was Man vs. Evil was just talking about it. Never mind. I'll talk about it next week or something. Yeah.
It'll come back to you.
But yeah, so that's really what's been going on.
All right, my turn.
Do it.
Actually, I don't have much on the Frosthaven front. I'll again. I'm trying to get.
You didn't finish reading the 150-page rulebook?
No, it's how many? Let me look here. I've got it right here. 83 pages. So, and it's funny. I know people.
Wait, is that just rules or is that scenario?
That's just rules. Oh no, the scenarios.
No way.
200 and something page books. There's over 200 pages of scenarios.
Are there that many new mechanics and stuff?
I was going to say. So that's the funny thing. If people, I'm not the first to mention this, but so in the book, it as you start out, it has these little. I don't want to show anything that might be spoiler. I don't think anything in the rule book.
It's all blurry.
Yeah, so you're not going to be able to see much. Maybe you might be able to see it just over here in the margins, though. There's these little snowflakes, and so at the beginning of the starting to read the instructions, the rules on page like 3 or 4, it tells you if you already know how to play Gloomhaven, you can skip over most of the rules, and you just need to read the things with the snowflakes because those are the new things for Frosthaven. But cool. Out of this 83-page rule book, when you get to about page 45 or 46, it changes and it says from this point forward, read everything because even if you played Gloomhaven, this is all new stuff. And so you're only reading about a third of the content up to that point, and then after that, you're pretty much reading everything because they added a whole new phase to the game, a whole city building, resource collection. Yeah, so there's a whole new thing. So I'm still working on that. They mentioned that there's a video that you can go online and watch. So I'm going to read through the rule book, and then I'm going to watch the video, and then I think I'll be ready to go. So we're going to start probably in a week or two. Joe and I and Nick are trying to get our schedules together to see when we can get back to a. Originally with Gloomhaven, we were playing pretty much every week, although of course we had breaks. It took us almost 2 years to get through it. This one we're going to try we're going to set every other week and try to really dedicate to every other week, and then whenever we can, we'll hit those in between weeks. So, but we're going to really push for every other week on this one, and this one's supposed to be a third more content. So, I mean, with 2 years on the last one, we're looking at probably almost 3 years to get through this. So, a whole lot of good stuff going on here in the old Gloomhaven. And I showed a picture on our group, but again, I mean, I'm literally straining. I mean, it's not a joke to pick this box up. 22.2 pounds, 23.2 pounds, whatever it is. It's crazy big. So
I saw the camera shake when you set it down.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I set it here on the table with the cameras, everything rocks and rolls. It is a big box. It is a whole Calyx cube on its own, really, literally.
Amen to that, though. Mad props to the development team to make it fit in the box.
A lot more people are doing that now.
That's what they said. They were shooting for that. It was actually bigger than a Calyx before, supposedly, and they found some ways to shrink it a little bit to get it onto a Calyx shelf. But this thing is a behemoth. I mean, just lifting it up is a little ridiculous. So
if the game doesn't fit in a Calyx, it has to be a really good game to stay in my collection.
Exactly. And there's a few of those. I've got Endeavor up here that doesn't quite fit. Mechs versus Minions doesn't quite fit into a Calyx, and so those are ones that are worth displaying here on the top of the shelf. Starfleet Captains. Yeah.
Hero Quest, is that what it is? Hero Quest, is it?
Which one?
The one they published, Hasbro published, is that Hero Quest?
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't fit in a Calyx, and I'm like, I think I'm gonna sell it. Like, I think get rid of it. Find somebody who might love it more, because I'm sick of having to find
Carlos
the space
draws
on top.
the line.
Somebody like Mike,
over 13 inches, he's out of there.
He's got the modular shelves over there, so he can move stuff around and make space for it. So
yeah,
that's why that's why I didn't do Calyx. That's why I did the best of shelving, because you can modify it. Yeah.
Modular. I got to mention one other thing, something that I'm a little bit excited about. I'm not super duper excited yet. We don't know enough about it, but Portal Games, Nacy Trevicek just made an announcement a couple of days ago. They had been hyping it for a few days that there was a new big thing coming down the tubes, but Imperial Miners. I'm a big fan of the Imperial Settlers and of that whole universe. I've got the Roll and Ride. I've got all that stuff. I've got the digital versions. Big fan of Imperial Settlers. I know, Mike, you are a big fan of the 51st State, which is basically you got it right there. Oh, yeah, I do see it right there. Yeah, right above Imperial Settlers, right on the shelf there together. Nice. I've got mine back here somewhere. I just rearranged recently, so I'm not sure where it is, but it's back here. But they've got this, they're calling it a light engine building card game. So it'll be interesting to see what comes out, but you're playing, you're now delving into the underground. It was Tom Vassell made a funny joke about it. He said, they say it's in the Imperial Settlers universe. He's like, well, isn't the Imperial Settlers universe really our universe? Because we were talking Egyptians and whatever. So it's like, I don't quite understand what the Imperial Settlers universe means. But anyway, but you're going underground this time. You're miners. And so they are asymmetric of each
like
one
children?
Of them. Sure. Yeah, you go like miners, MINORS instead of ERS. Yeah,
they're miners.
But it's got this engine building thing where you play cards down. It's
not
kind
gnomes,
of
not gnomes at all.
Not gnomes. Not everything little to Carlos is a gnome. Yeah. So. You know, he likes his dwarves though. I do say he likes his dwarves. But anyway, Carlos is going to dig, I think, the card play, because as you play, you're kind of playing things in an upside down pyramid. You're kind of laying out a first row. And then as you go down, you're kind of narrowing down. But as you play cards further down, you trigger all of the cards that are above them. So it's got this combo-tastic engine building. So yeah, if I play this card, it's going to trigger this one, going to trigger that one, going to trigger the one. So everything that's touching it and going up in an upside-down pyramid starts setting each other off. And so it's
kind of like a flow chart, like a
exactly. I do this to do that to do this. So it sounds like it's going to be a lot.
But wasn't
fun.
Like Empires of the North supposed to be like a lighter version of Imperial Settlers? But then I found that our games of Empire of the North lasted as long as the game of Imperial Settlers.
I don't think they were any shorter, but I think there were less decisions. In Imperial Settlers, there was quite a bit of diversity in the card play. In Empires, each of those 4 different factions. I think they came out with a few more that we didn't get into too much, but there was only a certain number of cards. It was like 16 cards or whatever. So once you kind of knew all the cards, the order that they come out would vary, and you'd have to vary your strategy depending on how the cards came out. But in Imperial Settlers, you had, especially when you had the expansions, you've got a pretty good deck there, and everybody's playing out of the same community deck. You've got a few of your own cards.
Okay, so Portal Games is saying, trust us this time. This time it's lighter.
This is going to be lighter. Yeah,
this one's really lighter.
Yeah,
nice.
And then and it's a new designer on this one. The Imperial Settlers and 54 State. I forget Mike might know the designer. You probably got it handy there. But while you're looking, this one is a new guy.
Was it Ignacy?
I don't believe so. Mike can confirm. Was it Ignacy?
I bought a copy of 51st State because of Lorenzo. Because of Lorenzo, I bought a copy of 51st State.
Good man.
He taught it to me at Escape WinterCon 2020. I think it was.
You and Rob, I think.
Yeah, and I fell in love with it.
Oh yeah, I like that one a lot too. I'm not sure if I like that one better. I liked it a lot. So it's on par with Imperial Settlers for me. Tim Armstrong is the guy who's doing this one. He did Arcana Rising and Orbeez, which are Orbeez is a popular game now. And then I liked Arcana Rising quite a bit. That was a game Nick Oben had with the little abacais, and that was a fun game. It was a little fun engine building, resource gathering game. So I'm really kind of patiently optimistic with this one. They're saying release fall of this year, 2023. So we've got 6 months. Tom said just kind of forget about it for now. It'll come back later. But so we got a little while to wait on this one. But I'm looking forward to it.
So the game that I just remembered, Guards of Atlantis 2. That's what I played. That's like a MOBA type of game.
I know that one.
Look it up.
What does MOBA stand for?
Massively online, I don't know, battle arena.
So like a Fortnite,
League of Legends, Fortnite,
like a League of Legends, not necessarily Fortnite.
League of Legends, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So off the topic, but I can see over Mike's shoulder a game, Shogun. Carlos, you probably haven't been on Discord much lately.
I saw the post you put on Discord.
It's on BGA in alpha on BGA.
Alpha.
So you can play Shogun online.
Looking forward to that. So we can play with the right rules with the computer doing the rules for us, right? Yeah.
We have played it on Tabletop Simulator during the COVID years. You remember that, Rob? It had the tower and everything. You had to shake the tower up, drop all the cubes in there. Yes, it was so much fun.
Or you hold the little hand above and then shook it around and then dropped them in.
Did that work right?
It did. It did on TTS.
Yeah. No,
I want to play that again.
You have to play that in person because you always get that one person that accidentally bumps the table and then a bunch of green cubes fall out. And
we had Zeno over, and if anybody knows Zeno, Zeno's very he's ham-fisted. Period.
Bull in a china shop.
Like I got a big dining table. It's a heavy dining table, and I'm watching Wayne try to hold the dining table down every time Zeno moves.
You got a little side table.
Rob went ahead and exiled the tower from Shogun. If you have never played Shogun before, the combat resolution system for Shogun is so interesting.
I love it.
What it does is it uses colored cubes for each player. And you're going to take them, you're going to drop them into a cube tower, not a dice tower, a cube tower. And whatever falls out of that cube tower, whoever has the most color of those cubes when they fall out is going to be the winner of that battle. So, but the cube tower is so sensitive that you can breathe, and a cube, just a little cube might fall out of nowhere. And
like everybody looks over at it like, what?
What happened? Who touched it? Who breathed? But it doesn't really impact the game because all the cubes go back into the tower every battle, right? So really, but it kind of messes with your head.
But the thing is like, okay, Carlos has lost 3 battles in a row. He's got a lot of cubes sitting in that tower right now. Yep. He's probably going to win the next one or the one after that. But thematically, I like it like when one of your cubes like kind of falls out. Thematically, it's like your warrior got lost and found his way back home. So you actually get to get him back.
Get your theme out of my freaking games.
Now
you're just making up theme.
I'm putting a theme in your cubes, baby.
You're making it up.
Putting that theme in the cube. What so I've only played Shogun once, obviously, and we kind of messed up some rules. But then on the Dice Tower's top 100, Tom had Wallenstein, I think.
Yes.
Right? And that's like a German map version of Shogun. And he said he prefers that because it's not a skinny long map. It's a more he called it fat map.
Mortal Kombat. Yeah,
but
everybody's in everybody's face the whole time.
Everyone, So I don't know if you guys ever played that.
I think William has that one, and there's another one that William has.
That's
which it has
fantasy.
a dark and a light side to it. So like there's like an underworld version, almost like a Shadow World, Stranger Things, upside down world. So like when your cubes die, they don't just die; they go to the underworld and battle on that board.
Okay, cool.
So it's really interesting.
Yeah.
Similar mechanisms.
Looking forward to getting some Shogun games in on BGA with you guys at some point. We can even play live too. You just play.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
On Discord.
Yeah,
that's
there's enough people in our group who like that one. That I think that again that'll be a good one to get.
Well, I got the pop up on the phone saying I got low battery, 20% charge on the phone now. So this is an hour and 43 minutes.
This is the last 3-4
USB.
weeks.
You're not doing bad.
I think that's pretty good, man.
Yeah. One other thing I got to mention real quick, Carlos is going to like this. I don't know if you've heard yet, Carlos. They've announced unmatched digital version coming, and they are going to have. They're going to release
on Steam. I've seen this.
Right, they're going to release them in order for the characters and the way that they came out. But they've kind of hinted at, from what I understand, that they are going to do stuff that they may not be able to do for digital rights reasons or production reasons. They're going to actually have some stuff coming in the future that is not going to be actual physical product. So they're going to go into some new arenas. They've kind of hinted, they haven't said what yet, but they've kind of hinted that you're going to see some stuff.
That totally makes sense though.
Yeah.
Because those IP trademark rules are very specific to the medium you use.
Right.
Yep. Right, to deliver it, like Star Wars stuff. Somebody might have the rights to the online or digital stuff, while somebody else has the rights to the miniatures or the board game stuff. Somebody else might have the rights to the card game stuff.
Yeah.
So I could see them being able to play in different spaces. But wouldn't it also be a restriction? Did they talk about that? Like things they couldn't put in digital format because they don't have the rights to the digital version?
That may cut both ways. They laid out a timeline of everything that's already out will be coming out digitally. So far, it looks like everything that you can buy off the shelf is going to be available online. But you're right, going into the future, that may cut both ways. You may see things only come out on one medium, and then some other stuff come out only on the other medium. But again, that opens some doors for them one way or the other. So yeah, it should be interesting. Yeah,
sweet.
And when we get back to the house, we'll get through games played. We'll update the board. Put some games on there. I think my anecdote for this last week of gaming has been introducing my wife to Board Game Arena, which had that prolific moment where I get a text on my phone saying, "It's your turn."
Oh yeah,
I made it. We've been playing Patchwork, Can't Stop, and Welcome to on Board Game Arena, and I get that text and I go on there and it's my turn on every one of the games. Like, hurry up, it's your turn.
I gotta teach you guys Targi and Jaipur,
I
man.
Unless
if you don't, really
I know Jaipur, but I need to play Targi.
Okay, yeah. You'd like Targi, Carlos.
I'm down. I am down. So wow, an hour and 46 minutes, gentlemen. Thank you for joining me for that entire time.
Fun as always.
USB battery pack. Thank you for rocking it this whole time. This thing for
solid connection.
It's running the battery pack is running the mixer board, which is crazy because it's got like the full mixer board is running off that USB supply. But I don't have a way to plug it into the phone and run the phone, so the phone's running out of power. But that tells me, hey, look, we can do an hour and a half of show off of just this mobile system. So this is great practice.
That's great.
So on that note, we are at the end of our show. We want to thank the callers who called in. We want to thank Mike, Wayne for showing up and being with us. Rob, as always, my brother from another mother, my heterosexual life partner.
Woohoo!
Always taking that one step too far.
Oh yeah.
It is after dark. What do you expect?
After 10.
I'm gonna try to nurse this fire back up to try to warm up because it is dying over there. That little tiny little flame.
It's gonna be cold when you wake up in the morning.
Oh yeah. All right, folks. We're bringing to the next podcast. I'm Carlos.
I'm Rob.
I'm Mike.
And I'm Wayne.
And we are a podcast about
how we
game.
Thanks for watching. Catch y'all next week, y'all.
Good night.
Good night. Bye, everybody.